Hey y'all, welcome back to Dots and Beyond. My name is Beth. Today we are embarking on a journey to harmonize our lives using the ancient wisdom of the five elements. That's a bit dramatic, but let's go ahead and get started. I am a person with big visions. I always have a big list of things I want to achieve, and realistically, I do not have the bandwidth to do them all at once. In 2022, I started exploring how to corral my big visions into a system to help me prioritize them. But I'm not drawn into or inspired by most of the planner systems in the popular market. At the same time, I was working through identifying my core values. That's an entirely different video, so let me know if you would be interested in that process, but it required a lot of reflection and soul searching. I determined that I have felt out of alignment with the natural world for the entirety of my adulthood, that my core self longed for an intentional relationship with the elements: earth, air, fire, and water. This relationship was intuitive for me when I was young, a tiny, blonde, wild-haired, barefooted child and even teenager who spent her spare time in the forests of East Africa like she was born there. Cultivating that intentional relationship with the natural elements became the core of my goal-setting system. But first, I had to do some research because I'm hardly the first human seeking this connection. The four and sometimes five elements of earth, air, water, fire, and the fifth spirit have roots in various cultures and philosophies, symbolizing fundamental aspects of life. They have guided seekers for centuries, helping them to find balance, purpose, and fulfillment. The ancient Greeks, such as the philosopher Aristotle, considered the four classical elements fundamental components of the physical world. They believed these elements combined in various ways to form everything in existence. Chinese philosophy incorporates the concept of wuxing, which translates to 5 phases, or 5 elements. These elements are a little different. We still have fire, earth, and water, but instead of air and spirit, it's wood and metal. Many Native American cultures incorporate elements into their spiritual beliefs. The Lakota Sioux recognize the earth, water, air, and fire as sacred elements, each with its own symbolism and significance in rituals and ceremonies. Alchemy is a precursor to modern chemistry, heavily relied on the idea of transforming matter through the manipulation of elements. Alchemists in Europe and the Middle East worked with elements such as earth, air, water, and fire both in practical and symbolic sense. Wicca also incorporate this system, focusing heavily on the compass point of each. North, the earth, is feminine, fertile, and stable. East is air, the soul, and the breath of life. South is fire, a purifying masculine energy associated with free will. To the west is water with its healing and cleansing energy. Ayurveda, the traditional system of medicine in India, is based on the concept of 3 doshas: Vata, associated with air and ether; Pitta, associated with fire and water; and Kapha, associated with earth. Western astrology assigns the 12 zodiac signs an associated element: earth, air, water, or fire. These elements influence the personality traits and characteristics of individuals born under specific signs. And last, in my examples, is Hinduism and the concept of Pancha Mahabhuta, which means 5 great elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether, or space. These elements are central to Hindu cosmology and are believed to be the universe's building blocks. These are just a few examples of how different cultures and philosophies have incorporated elemental structures into their belief systems, cosmologies, and practices. The idea of elements as fundamental components of the natural world has been a recurring theme throughout history and across various civilizations. I chose the Hindu 5 great elements as the structure for my system, but then I gave them Latin names. Earth is terra, water is aqua, air is still air, it just has an E in it, fire is ignis, and spirit is aether. Each element also finds its place on the compass, with terra in the north, air in the east, aqua in the west, ignis in the south, and aether at the center. Many ancient traditions used this compass to navigate life's challenges, and throughout history, great thinkers and seekers have drawn inspiration from them to make important life decisions. It's time we tap into this wisdom for our own benefit. Now that we've unearthed the wisdom of the elements, let's move on to the heart of our journey, defining our core values for each domain. This is how I have personally defined my domains, and having only 5 helps with how many of my big visions I can pursue at one time. Again, I drew inspiration from the Hindu when assigning my life domains in these elements. While they primarily have cosmological and spiritual significance in Hindu philosophy, explicitly assigning them to specific areas of life is not a central aspect of the Pancha Mahabhuta philosophy, as it is in some other elemental systems. Instead, they are more broadly understood as the building blocks of the physical and metaphysical universe, which allows us to draw personal interpretations and connections between these elements and different aspects of our lives. For me, Earth is associated with stability, grounding, and the physical body. It is connected to material aspects of life, including the physical world, land, and the body's solid form. My short definition for Terra, or Earth, is grounding. This is my life domain of home and hearth. My core value for Terra is stability. As someone who lives with bipolar disorder, stability isn't always easy. For Terra, your grounding element, consider goals that nurture your home and family life. Are you looking to create a warm, inviting space or strengthen your family bonds? Let Terra guide you. Water symbolizes fluidity, emotions, and purification. It is associated with the flow of life and emotions and the purification of body and soul. My short definition for Aqua is thriving. This is my life domain of health and wellness. My core value for Aqua is balance. Aqua, the element of thriving, guides goals related to health and wellness. Are you working toward physical fitness, mental well-being, or a balanced lifestyle? That's where you let Aqua flow through your aspirations. Air signifies movement, breath, and the life force. It is associated with energy and the vital force that sustains living beings. My short definition of air is contributing. I believe that we receive life by what we put into life. So this is my life domain of career and creativity. And my core value for air is creativity. Air, the element of contribution, can inspire career and creative goals. How can your work make a positive impact on the world? What creative pursuits align with your air core value? Ignis, or fire, represents transformation, energy, and the divine. It is used in rituals to offer oblations and symbolizes the presence of the divine. Fire also represents the inner fire of knowledge and spirituality. My short definition for Ignis is connecting. This is my life domain for relationships, and my core value is authenticity. The purpose of Ignis is to choose goals that enrich your relationships. Perhaps you aim to strengthen existing bonds or build new, meaningful connections. Ignis will be your compass for this. Aether, or space, is the most subtle of the elements and represents the limitless expanse. It symbolizes the infinite and is often associated with the spiritual realm and consciousness. My short definition for Aether is discovering. This is my life domain for spirituality, and my core value is adventure. There inspires spiritual growth and self-discovery goals. What practices or experiences align with your Aether core value? How can you deepen your understanding of the spiritual realm, regardless of what your spiritual beliefs may be? In addition to the points on the compass, various belief systems assign specific colors to the 5 elements. It's important to note that while these colors are commonly associated with the elements, there can be variations and interpretations within different cultural and regional contexts. Using the colors in rituals and ceremonies connects practitioners with the qualities and energies of each element and can vary based on personal beliefs and traditions. As I am the practitioner in this case, I kept some colors and I changed some. The color associated with earth is generally depicted as yellow or golden. This color represents the earth element's stability, fertility, and grounding aspects. I chose green for Terra, which really means I just flip-flopped 2 of the elements. Green is the traditional color for air. Green represents the freshness, movement, and vitality of the air. I envision air as yellow, so earth and air are the 2 colors that I swapped. The color associated with fire is often depicted as red, or shades of red. Red symbolizes the transformative, energetic, and fiery qualities of fire. I also used red for fire. I also kept blue for water. Blue represents fluidity, adaptability, and change. The color associated with aether, or space, is often depicted as either black or deep blue. These colors symbolize the vastness and the mysterious nature of the cosmic space. Instead of deep blue, I assigned purple to aether. So practically, how does this system guide my goals and planning? This is new and evolving for me, but here is what I know. First, popular systems like the Level 10 Life or Maxi Life have way too many life domains for me. The element system brings that number from 8 or 10 down to 5, which I find more manageable. And I have to be more intentional about what fits inside each of my domains. Second, because each element has an assigned domain, for example, water or aqua is health and wellness, and an assigned core value, in my case, balance, any goal I assign to that element should nurture both the domain and the core value. And for context, I don't call my goals goals. I call them powers, as in I'm leveling up my powers, building my arsenal, etc. The daily and weekly mini goals I assign to each of these powers I call energies, and I draw those energies from the elements in which they reside. Third, ideally, no element should have more than one big vision goal attached to it at any given time. And sometimes, only one big vision goal in one domain is all I can focus on at a given time. For example, I came into 2023 with some lofty goals. For Earth, I wanted to move within my own city. I currently live in an apartment, and new management has caused a decline in maintenance and some other things. I am only now, in October, beginning to actively pursue that goal for 2023 because other things had to take precedence. In fact, most of my big vision goals took a backseat, save one, improving my overall health. That journey in 2023 has been my sole focus. I didn't know it would turn out that way when I started setting goals for the year, but I had to recognize that my wellness journey needed to take priority. I've spent a lot of time with specialists this year, my psychiatrist, my therapist, my dentist, my gynecologist, even my primary care physician, and things are heading in the right direction, which means I can circle back around to some of these goals I put on hold. While still evolving, this is how I use the elements as the structure for establishing my life domains, core values, and how I set goals within that framework. If this appeals to you, I recommend doing some of your own studies on how humanity has gravitated to the elements for centuries to identify the bits that resonate most with you. Maybe your elements will vary and include Chinese wuxing elements of wood and metal. Perhaps astrology is more your forte and you want to build your framework around where your zodiac falls on the elemental chart. There's no right or wrong here, and it's certainly not a one-size-fits-all system. You can craft it to your own needs, as I have. If you made it this far, out of curiosity, where does your zodiac sign fall within the 4 elements, and do those traits resonate with you? Let's chat about it in the comments. I'm a Leo, a fire sign, and even my children will tell you that much like Margot Robbie's stereotypical Barbie in the Barbie movie, I am the quintessential Leo. Thank you for hanging out with me today to learn more about my elemental life operating system, and to those who requested this video. If you like it, you know what to do. Please give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one.